Sorry I'm late. Third time's a charm. Let's reload this stream 3 times. Don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to myself. Hello. Can you hear me? I don't know what happened. I had to reload it twice. I don't know why it didn't work. It didn't work. I had it all set up, and then I had to do it again. And Luke's here. Hello, darling. We got there in the end. Sorry, I'm late. Yes, indeed. So you can hear me okay? That's the main thing. I don't know what happened, but something went wrong. Let me see. Yes, I don't know what happened. So how are we all? Don't like this camera angle much. Let's just do that, shall we? Oh, sorry, just gonna move you. That's a bit better. I'm sat at a funny angle, but that's better. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've tried a different angle, but is that weird? Because the guitar's like coming at you. It's coming at you like this. That'd be fine with it. Anywho, so we have some new questions. I have a set of 7 new questions from some of you cool people. I'm playing my Jack on the Box guitar that I built today, and it smells really weird in here because this guitar here, which I've been doing a refinish on in my spare time, has had its clear coat put on it today, or I put clear coat on it today, and it's up there drying, and it stinks. So if I start going a bit funny and start slurring my words, so if I start during my slurs, you'll know why. Not because I'm drinking any alcohol, because I'm not. I'm on the coffee today. Coffee. Maria says you look different without a drink in your hand. Yes, I feel different too. Kind of in the room, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so let's kick off with the first question, shall we? Right, here we go. Do you have any unrelated songs recorded unfinished that I will release in the future? As in me, I will release in the future. Yes, I do. I have several songs that we've actually gigged, but but not recorded, and I've got some other songs which I have recorded and not gigged. So yes, there is quite a few ideas knocking around, if that makes sense. I'm not quite sure what I want to do, i.e. the next record. Whether it's worth doing an album or not, because I don't think people really want to buy albums anymore. The last one we did was an EP, and I'm not even sure people want to buy those anymore. So I don't know whether to just release stuff as singles in the future and just record one song at a time, and then maybe once there's a collection of 10, 11 songs, then just stick them all on an album to sell to people at gigs, maybe. I don't know. But yes, there is stuff. There's always stuff. I haven't done any songwriting in a while because I've been busy doing other stuff. You will buy anything on CD. Yeah, some people do prefer CDs. So there's always going to be a CD of some sort. But I'm just thinking for the initial next batch of songs, I might just release them as downloads, a single at a time, and then when there's enough, to make a CD, rather than making a whole CD in one go. If that makes sense. That seems to be the way that it's done these days. But yeah, so that's the answer to the question in question. That's the question in question. And I do have your CD ready to go, Luke, and T-shirt, which I shall post tomorrow for you, darling. Off there! Do you know what it smells like in it? It smells like licorice. And I intend to build another guitar soon. I haven't built a guitar in a while. I've been busy. Lots of gigging, actually, lately and stuff. So, yeah, I will be building another guitar. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I tidied up the workshop the other day and I found loads of like radio tin cans and things that I've purchased to do stuff with. Evening, Mr. Hill. I don't know. I'm quite tempted to do something with the Gear for Music Les Paul that I got the other day, the other week. Do something funky with that, but I'm not quite sure yet. And Ian's here. Have you got your shoes on, Ian? I don't know if you saw the last vlog. Ian forgot his shoes and got ridiculed for it quite a lot. Didn't you, mate? Usually musicians forget a guitar or something, or a drummer might forget his cymbals or a hi-hat or a snare or a stool or something, but Ian forgets his shoes. So he was the butt of a lot of jokes. Yeah, he's definitely going to be hearing sandal jokes for the rest of his life. Indeed. So yeah, check it out. This is the refinish that I've been doing on this. This is Harley Benton. And I put the clear coat on tonight. Well, today I've done several coats. And now it's just drying off. Going to leave it for a few days to go rock hard before I polish it out. It's come up nice. Looks great on camera. And I've been doing this steadily over weeks and weeks now. And there's some videos up. And then the front here is ready for the green. It's going to have a green gloss on the front, and then a nice stripe going down there, and some LEDs in here and stuff. It's going to be awesome. But there's still a lot of work to do. But yeah, I like it. It's come up nice. Ian Mortimer should be here. It's his guitar. He'd love to see that. And that's why it smells in here. But I don't want to leave it in the workshop because it's all dusty and damp in there. Cheers, Luke. Yeah, it's come up all right. I've had some issues with it. I had some accidents and I've had a few issues with it, but it's all right. But I'm going to leave it for a few good days, I think. Maybe even longer. I might leave it like a good week just so it goes rock hard. And then I'll start the sanding and polishing process, which is all of that. So I want to do something with this. But I don't know what to do with it. It's a bolt on as well, so I can take the neck off. It's got some damage on it here. So, I mean, I could just do my usual and discard the body and just use it all and make a tin guitar from some of the stuff I've got in the workshop. Or I was thinking I could do a cool refinish on this. Maybe do something. Got some real nasty gouges out there, but maybe strip this body down, and it's probably going to be a piece of crap though, isn't it? But I don't know. Or do I want to get into that? I don't know. But anyway, so that's a thought in process. And I've got somebody asked me if I can do a bass. And I do have some bass parts, so I might be doing that as well. It'd be quite fun to do a bass. Yeah, refinish. Yeah, but do something. I don't know. Do something different. I don't know what though. Try something different. But anyway, let's move on to question number 2. Question duh. What are some of the first songs I learned to play? That might have been your question, Luke, actually, if I remember. Some of the first songs I learned to play on guitar. I think I said last week the first song I learned was House of Rising Sun. And then a shuffle. And then I learned things like... or I used to learn parts of songs. So I'd learn the bit from Layla, you know. Whatever it is. And things like that. And Smoke on the Water. You know, all that stuff. And that was really it. And then it was just learning everything I could possibly get my hands on. I can remember, I don't know if you remember the Cream of Eric Clapton. I had it on VHS, and there's a picture of him, you know, with that famous pose that he used to do. And I tried to learn everything off of there, which was really difficult. But that was covering stuff from Cream to, you know, his more modern 80s, 90s stuff as well. Dr. Nerd is in the house. Yeah, coming back to that Les Paul, the Gear for Music one, if I did a refinish on it, it really does depend on what the wood is like underneath. So I'd like to do something cool, but I'll try something different rather than just doing a flat finish like I did on this one. I don't know. Yes, Layla. Layla was the song that got me into playing guitar in the first place. I could not stop playing that song when I first heard it. And that's how I discovered Eric Clapton, really. And then through discovering Eric Clapton, you kind of discover everybody else. That sounded familiar. You haven't missed much, Mr. Nerd. Say Dr. Nerd. I haven't missed much at all, actually. I was late because it was the third attempt to get the stream to run. I don't know why. Nothing's ever perfect, is it? So just noodling, really, just talking nonsense, you know. We had 2 full starts. Yes. So the first 2 questions were, to recap, was about any music that I haven't released that I have written, and yes, there's some stuff knocking around, and it's deciding whether I release them as singles or release album. I don't think releasing albums is the way to go anymore. You know. Hang on a second. I'm new because I'm still new to this, you see. Okay. It's not as involved as Twitch. There's not a lot of options for things. Yeah, the last record we did was an EP. I think people aren't patient enough for albums. I think that's the thing. And streaming now is kind of it's made singles more popular, I think. So I was just saying that the next lot of stuff I release, or the next lot of stuff I record and put out there, I might just do as singles and release them as singles, and then when there's like 5 or 6 tracks, make an EP, and then have that as a hard copy, which I can sell at gigs or sell to people that want CDs. Because some people still do want the CDs, so they got something tangible, something that they can have signed, and things like that. But yeah, so the next lot of stuff, which I haven't actually planned yet. I don't really know what to do with the next lot of stuff, but there's lots of ideas floating around still. So I should really make a plan and get some stuff on the way. Really, I haven't recorded anything in ages. Do you home record much, or only do demos at home and use the studio for commercial stuff? I do most of it in my studio in this room right here. All the vocals, all the guitar takes, bass guitar takes, everything gets done in here. Drums we do at where we rehearse, and I take all my mics, and the drummer has his own mics and everything, and I take the laptop and the interface and everything, and we record all the drums down there, and then I bring it back here, and then it's all mixed and done in here and mastered and everything, because we have no budget. That's basically it. There's no money for recording albums, so I get a pretty decent result. It's never going to be as good as going to like a swanky studio and having, you know, all that, all the equipment and the whatever, but it's radio playable. That's the point. It's good enough for that. So yes, and I've done it for years and years like that. Excellent results. Well, when I recorded Smoke and Mirrors, it was a bit of a rush job. Smoke and Mirrors, and it's a bit of a mashup CD. I got actually lots of people that reviewed the album were really impressed with how it was with the sound of the recording. They said it sounded really organic, and they liked that. It sounded. Pete Feaster said it sounded almost sounded like a live recording, but in a good way. You know, not like it's bad quality, but that's kind of how I want it to sound. I want the instruments to sound like they sound live. I want the drum kit to sound like a drum kit, and not over processed and compressed and too clean. You know, so I don't mind if tracks overspill and things like that, and you get ghosting and things. Even to the guitars, you know, it's just I want it to sound like it sounds when I'm playing on stage, and have that kind of feel to it. So doing it on a budget kind of makes that easy. Does that make sense? Ever got any good live recordings, or is that just 2-track option output stuff. Sorry, 2-track output stuff. Live. I've never done proper live recordings myself. We have had some stuff done for us off the desk when we've done gigs, and these days sound engineers, they can record multi-track because they mic everything up anyway. Then you end up with a live multi-track recording, and that had some good results with those in the past, but nothing that I felt comfortable putting out, mainly because my performance wasn't good enough. Yeah, because it's difficult to edit live stuff, even though you've got the multi-track recording. The live recordings, I think I gave you a load, didn't I, Mark? Amongst all the stuff, I've got some stuff that Simon did, the guy that was doing the sound at the Boom Boom on Saturday, that he's done in the past for me. I'll have to dig them out. I think they're in my van. Actually, I've got some stuff in the van on my USB. Did you get your guitar lesson today, Mark? I put up the new guitar lesson. And I've been recording the extra content stuff as well for patrons, which is coming together. So you'll have that soon as well. Yeah, that's some of the stuff. He did a few, didn't he? He did some when we opened for a band called Thunder Pussy. I think that got recorded. But I don't know. There's so much stuff. But a lot of it is rubbish, though. Of course, there's the stuff from Russia as well, isn't there? That was all live. That's a live album. Which I haven't heard yet. But I've got all the MP3s of that. Of the whole show. So that was a pretty decent recording. Yeah, the old Russians did it. I'm not going to repeat that. Oh, really, Luke? You found some live stuff you can buy online from a Russian website. What was the website? That'd be Boris. That's interesting. I never got the finished product from him, but it's okay. I mean, the MP3s I've got are pretty good. I could master them up, actually. I might do that, and release my own version. Brent Hutchison and Russian Friends. Do you stick to tried and tested SM58s for live vocals, or have you tried much other stuff? I used to do live sound and always loved singers' reactions when I gave them a decent stage condenser mic. Yeah, SM58 is the standard wherever I go. I mean, I pack two SM58s when I go out. I don't know why I got two, but this one here is a PG 58, I think it is, or something like that. It's like the cheaper version, which is still cool. I've never tried actually using a different mic. Never really tried. I do have because I use the Harmony Singer pedal that's got like its own built-in compressors and stuff, which is nice. Gives it a bit more. But yeah, maybe I should. It's just always been SM58, and every gig I've ever done with someone doing sound, it's just an SM58. That's what they give you. Oh, my knob's come loose. Hang on. I've got a loose knob. That's not good, is it? Can't get this off. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's stopped now. That's strange. Sorry, sausages. What? I just had sausages for dinner, actually. Funny that. So anyway, yeah, let's move on. Time ticks on, doesn't it? Very quickly. I know I was in here late, but we're already halfway through. So, question number 3. Do you have any tips for anyone considering going out busking or starting to perform in public? Well, lots of tips for busking. Right, well, where to begin? If you're thinking of going busking, where to start? First of all, you need the gear. And you need something that's going to be battery operated. You need an amp. Don't listen to anybody that says you don't need an amp. Buskers don't need. You do, because you're not going to get heard at all if you don't have an amp. You don't need to be loud, but you need an amp and you need a mic, and it's going to give you the best possible sound. Playing outside is always very difficult. Anyway, obviously I've got my busking rig, which is my Roland Street Cube EX, and there's a review of that on my channel, of course. It's a very, very good amp, and I use it in the pub gigs as well. So it's a double whammy, for that amp. It's well worth having it. What's that? Wheelie Wednesday. Did I spell it wrong? Are you gonna hop on your bike and pop a wheelie? Don't mind me just being that. Did I spell it wrong? What it is my K doesn't work on my keyboard. I'm always doing that. Anyway, so yeah, you need the right equipment. That's my first tip if you want to go busking. Second tip is research what the rules are, because everywhere has different rules. Some places you need a license, some places you don't need a license, some places it's like a yearly thing, other places you have to apply every month, some places you have to book in your spot, some places you don't. So definitely check what the rule is in wherever you're intending to go busking. Like, for instance, if I want to busk in Horsham, it's a yearly license which I have to apply for, and you have to wear your license around your neck. It has to be on show, and you have to phone up and ask permission to go and do it first. If you don't, they get really narky with you, and they do check. But on the other hand, if I want to busk in Crawley, for instance, you just turn up and do it. There's no license, there's nothing. So that's my second tip. Third tip is watch out for other buskers, because especially if you're new to it and you don't know the other buskers so well, they can get quite funny with you as well. So a lot of other buskers are quite helpful, but they don't want you there because you're potentially taking income away from them. Sorry, I'll get to that in a second. That's my third tip. Fourth tip is in regards to not being too loud. A lot of the time you'll have to play facing a shop doorway. Just be wary of not pointing your amp into someone's doorway of a shop. And if they come out and tell you to turn it down, just be polite, turn it down. And other than that, it is a case of just enjoy it and just be aware that there are nutters out there, and you'll get some really weird people coming up and talking to you, and you'll get some nasty people. But in the whole, my experience has been that it's been quite friendly mostly, and it can be quite lucrative, and it's a great way to practice. I would encourage anybody to try it for certain. Right, sorry, what was that? There was a YouTube channel, but the guy only made 3 or 4 videos, then stopped. He demonstrated that he could buy cheaper guitars and amps and upgrade them cheaply. They sounded excellent. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with cheap instruments. You can get a lot out of a cheap instrument and a cheap amp, to be fair. I lived in Horsham for a few years as a child. Thought your accent was familiar. I'm not actually from here. Small world. Yeah, I'm actually from Portsmouth area. But I suppose it's all the south coast, isn't it? Gear snobs irritate me. A name on a headstock isn't an indicator of quality. Exactly. TR1 Greg Bennett for $50 off the ads, and it's incredible. Absolutely. No name on that headstock. That one's got PV written on it. That's a Harley Benton over there. There's a couple of Harley Bentons back there. My main guitar's a Harley Benton. It costs like £130. How you got Freddie busking? Yeah, Freddie came to me. Somebody gave him to me when I was busking. But busking is it's not something I've done a lot lately, but it's a really good thing to fall back on. It can get you out of a hole if your gigs are a bit thin on the ground, you know. And it definitely does that. It's quite enjoyable. You have got yes, you have. You've got B.A. Hutchinson on your headstock because I signed it. Any other tips for busking? Anybody starting out? Yeah, your repertoire. Learn a lot of songs that are easy to play. And that people will know and appreciate. I find if I go busking and play my own music, people just tend to walk by. If I'm banging out Wonderwall or Knocking on Heaven's Door or Sweet Home Alabama or something, you'll get people put money in because they know the stuff and they'll come and sing along and dance around and things. That's just life, and that's the same when you go out and do gigs as well. Nobody wants to hear your own music, unfortunately. Well, not many anyway. Oh, good guitars. You have a Harley Benton SC 450 plus. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Yeah, $186 shipped is amazing, isn't it? Where are you from? Are you from the States? From America? Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's the my last gig, and there's video up of it. My last vlog. Uh, I started off playing the gig with my Harley Benton Black Paisley, awesome guitar, broke a string, and then ended up playing my £61 Harley Benton kit guitar, and it's awesome. Sounded great, plays great. You know what you're gonna do? You don't need anything else. Vintage are great guitars. Vintage V100. Oh, you think it's a turn? I suppose sometimes it's the luck of the draw as well. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've had some Squires in the past, and they've been absolutely amazing. And then I've had other Squires that you just cannot set the thing up for just it's firewood, you know. Yeah, the Roswell pickups. I did a video recently when I compared the Roswell pickups to the cheap Harley Benton kit pickups against some vintage Fender noiseless pickups, and did a blind test and everything. And the noiseless pickups I did put in my Harley Benton backplate, easy for you to say, Black Paisley. Ended up taking them back out and putting the Roswells back in because it's just nasty in my opinion in comparison. And those pickups are now up for sale on eBay. I just can't get on with them, and they're like, you know, the noiseless Fenders are like £140 or something for the set new, and Roswells I think you can pick up for about £60 a set, and they're better. I think they're better. Lots of people think they're better. When you're playing gig after gig in the 80s, you used a Gibson SG series amp, weighed £140. God blimey. And used a Court Les Paul copy and a Hondo Flying V. It weighed £140. Was it on wheels? That's incredible. I've got a session amp down here, which isn't mine, from the 80s. It's a twin. It's the Sessionette 75. Nice amp, killer amp. It's not valve either, solid state, absolutely killer. I did a little comparison with my Fender bass breaker. Video of that coming up soon. Nice. Not a replacement for a valve amp, I didn't feel, but it's got a sweet sound all on its own. It had 4 10-inch speakers, all in one unit. Thankfully, yes, it was on wheels. God, I bet it. Oh, you had to get that into the boot of a car. Wow, how times have changed with that. I use a little 5-watt amp and a 1x12 vintage 30 in a cab, nice and light. I used to have a PV. I can't forget. I think it was a classic PV Classic 120-watt twin, and that was heavy. Not quite as heavy as 140 pounds, but it was heavy. Built-in phase shifter. That's cool, man. I don't suppose you have that anymore. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it's great how gear has downsized over the years. My PA system I take out is a Yamaha. It's a Yamaha Stage Par. Speakers like this big, then the PA goes in. Yeah, the amp goes into the back of the speaker. It's lovely. Years ago, 15 years ago or more, when I was gigging, the massive, great mixing desk. Huge speakers. You just lugging them in and out night after night with my Marshall JCM and all that. It's just silly, really. Yeah, all very, very heavy. Now it's not so bad, which is great. Saves you back, doesn't it? Good thing I was young, yeah. I was heavily into weightlifting back then, which was a good thing, I suppose. You had one of those PV Classic solid state preamps with 2 6L6 output tubes. Useless inbuilt drive, yeah. But the loudest pedal form you could ever ask for, yeah. I can clear it all up in 5 minutes. I can. My acoustic setup, I can do the last song and be in the van pulling out the venue in 5 minutes. I think we got it down to 3, didn't we? 3 minutes. All right then. So that was my tips for busking and performing in public and stuff like that. Yes, definitely. Just know that when you first go out there and do it, you're not going to be as good. You're going to be as good as you can be. You're going to get better. It's going to get better. I think that's what you say. Not saying you're going to go out and be bad, but just know that the more you do it, the better and better it's going to be, and the better and better you're going to get. All I needed for pedals back then was my Dot Overdrive plus my Dot 5 band EQ. Yeah. Yeah, I used to use, I'm going back 20 years probably. I used to have a JCM 900 100-watt combo and a channel switcher, and that was it. And I used the overdrive on the amp. I did that for a long time. Then eventually I got a Zoom, I think it was a Zoom 505 multi effects thing, and that was interesting. That took it to a different place, But then after that amp blew up, then it all changed really. I didn't gig for a long time actually after that. So when I went back to gigging again, it was I was using pods and things straight into the PA for a while, which probably wasn't ideal. Anyway, let's move on. So question number 4. Do you have any tips or tricks for ear training? That's interesting. Ear training, and you guys will probably appreciate this. It's like when I first started playing guitar, and probably when you first learned to play guitar, you didn't have internet and you didn't have YouTube and you didn't have anything. So ear training was all you had, if you know what I mean. Because to learn a song, you just had to listen to it and try and figure it out with very minimal theory knowledge as well. So it was even more difficult. But what it did is it really did train your ear. and how to listen for melodies and pick things out and stuff like that. So my tips for ear training is to do just that. That's going to be one of the best things you could do. Trying to learn songs just by listening to the song and picking out the parts and picking out the melodies. Sorry, I'm just reading. Yeah, so I was just reading your, we did Bullet in the Sky back then for you too. Did the slide guitar, yeah, that's cool. The first thing I had was a Zoom 505 pedal in the 90s. Yeah. Zoom, they were good. They were good fun and affordable. That was the thing, wasn't it? Yep. I took one whole lesson in my life, got bored with it, listened and watched everyone play, then did what they did. Exactly. I'm self-taught guitar player myself. I didn't have a lesson until I went and did my music degree. That was 10 years ago when I was 34. So I'd already been playing at that point 20 odd years. So I was self-taught and gigging regular. And I think it's the best thing, really. I mean, the theory and stuff, I don't use a lot of theory anyway in my playing. I understand quite a lot of it, but I only use very basic stuff to enable myself to do what I do, if that makes any sense. So yeah, ear training and the Beatles songbook and the White Album was me in the 80s. Yep. I tried to play by ear, but keep getting it stuck on the strings. Yeah, very funny. But yeah, I can remember sitting there for hours and hours and hours trying to work out probably something that I could just do it straight away now, but at the time, and wearing tapes out, rewinding them, and then having to try and tune your guitar into being tuned with the tape because tapes play at different speeds, so it's never quite right. Yeah, nightmare. That was an exercise of love, definitely. Yes. I was bored with lessons. I was thinking, I don't want to play Love Me Tender on 2 strings. I want to learn chords. So I took a book out from the library called Play Guitar Today, and off I went. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's the best way, man. Bring on the hiss. Yeah, the Zoom 5. I remember that. I remember it was like when I remember plugging it into my JCM 900 and it was like giving it steroids. It was like, whoa. It's just all of a sudden it was just like turn it on, turn the gain on. There's all this feedback and endless like noises, and it was like, whoa. It took me ages to like figure out how to use it. Of course, it was digital, wasn't it? It was like some of the first digital stuff, really. Cheap end digital stuff. You got a decent guitar teacher, have you, Mum? I must admit though, it was very helpful me having guitar lessons when I did have guitar lessons, because it kind of opened a few more doors for me. I had some guitar lessons from he's a very good friend of mine now, and he was a top session player, jazz player, taught me quite a lot of theory stuff, and just showed me a different approach to things. I still pretty much played like the same way I always did, but now I just have a few more options and a few different places to go, which is quite nice. You had your Zoom 505 straight into the headphones and then a CD player into a second pair of headphones on top. Looked right twat. But it worked great though. Now my old band manager bought a bass, had me set up for him, and wants me to teach him. So we're gonna jam some simple songs together and then step it up. I said for him to get a chart of notes. Yeah, that's basically what you need, isn't it? That's it. Dad got me started with chords. Then I took about 4 lessons with the guy who came into my school. Before giving up the lessons, he was very set in his ways and only from a shred point of view. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. This is the thing I keep forgetting to do. I keep forgetting to put my glasses on. I can't even see nothing. Shred point of view, yeah. The thing is with any instrument, I think, and I think a guitar especially, it's a very, very personal instrument. I think there's many ways of playing. There's many ways you can use this hand, and there's many ways you can use this hand. I mean, consider Hendrix, for instance, with his big puds and he with his thumb over, and and the big splatty chords that he could reach and things like that. And then Clapton, who only uses 3 fingers. There's so many ways, and there's so many ways to approach it theoretically as well. I think it's just, if you can get something really expressionate and really toneful, really musical out of it, it really doesn't matter. Yes, self-taught Eddie Van Halen, yeah, exactly. Self-taught guitar player. Yeah, he definitely brought that into the pop world, didn't he? All the popular music world, all that tapping and blah, blah, stuff that he did. But it was outstanding. He was an outstanding guitar player. I used to love Van Halen. I did try learning some Van Halen stuff. It's not me. I can't do that. He wanted to learn bluesy stuff, but he'd only teach you formal shred, like, yeah. That's the thing. See, I taught guitar at my local college for about 3 years, and I'm a very bluesy player. I'd say I'm like a bluesy rock player. And there's obviously there were students coming in, and they wanted to play shreddy stuff. They're like, I had one kid come in with an 8-string. I mean, he was a bit of a nightmare. But at the end of the day, all I used to say to them is like I can give you my knowledge and experience. What you do with it, that's down to you. I can show you this scale will work in this situation, and these chords work in that situation. What you do after that, you take that and make it yours. I think that's important. I think as a teacher, I didn't want to like create a class full of clones, of me. That wasn't the point. But I think a little bit of knowledge and experience. That's what I was trying to give them the tools. Before he got the Variax, he was monkeying around inside a Marshall. He got cheap. He touched one blue capacitor, blew himself back against the wall. Got 3. Yeah, valve amps. I've worked on valve amps. I don't like working. I've built 2 valve amps actually, and this one I built, which is an 18 watt. And my 5 watt that I use now, I built. And I remember when I built this one, which is an 18 watt. It's just a volume tone job, very simple amp, very nice amp. I'd done something wrong, and when I went to do the initial testing, everything in the house just went, just exploded. Yeah, and a massive like arc came out of the amp. When we investigated, I'd put something back the front, just some little capacitor or something was ran the wrong way, and the current, I don't know. It was very scary. Anyway, and I have been electrocuted before, touching a transformer while the amp was on. That wasn't very pleasant. Yeah, so I don't like working on amps. Fucking help it. I did have a Vox. God, what was it? It wasn't a Vox AC30. It was a different one. It was based on the JCM 800. I can't remember what it was. I sold it to a friend of mine, which I picked up and I renovated, and I got it back working, properly, and revalved it. And that was scary. Working on that was scary. That was very scary. I had mouse droppings inside it. It was old. Very nice though. When I got it going, ooh, what an amp! That was sound. Different way of frying your sausages. Yeah, definitely. Got a PV red stripe solid state recently. Loving it. Yeah, this sessionette thing I've got down here. I was completely shocked. It's not mine. It's my bass player's actually, and he's trying to get rid of it. So he wanted me to do like a demo of it for him. A year into playing, I was at a youth theatre group backstage. They had a circuit breaker that wasn't wired right. I went to go switch one of the lights off, and that, oh man, it's deadly. And I mean, valve amps can actually kill you, and they won't even be not even plugged in. That's how bad, that's how dangerous they are to work on, because those big capacitors in there, they can store lethal charges for quite a long time after they're switched off. So you've got to be so gentle and so careful. Really, I'd hate opening them up. The ones I built were from kit, so you had step-by-step instructions the whole way. But even that was like, and there's all these like warnings and disclaimers sort of thing. If you die, it's not our fault, yeah, quite bad. I don't think it's something I really want to go deep into. I did think about doing an electronics course once, but I don't know. Guitars are much safer. You can build guitars. It's you're not going to die. Hello, Acoustic Adventure 1. Hi, Brent. Just watched your part 1, part 2 soloing videos this afternoon. Good stuff, thank you. I didn't really understand the major scale over 4th from part 1. Okay. Well, hopefully I can explain this a bit better. If you're playing, the whole idea is you're playing a dominant blues, so your first chord is like a flat 7. If you go down a tone from there, there's a major scale which fits straight over that. So you've got all these notes, right? Okay, so, and what I mean by the 4th position is that diatonically, a dominant 5 chord is the 5th position of the major scale, and the 4th position is there, so it's a tone down, so that would be the 4th position. That's what I mean, yeah? So that's the 5th position of the major scale, which would be, in this case, D major. Yeah. So actually, the 1 of this dominant chord, this A dominant 7, is D major, and the 4th is G major. So basically, you can play if you take a dominant chord and go down a tone, you can play a major scale over the top of it. I hope that makes sense. As you go through the series of videos, once you get to the end of it, it will all come together. I promise. Greeting from Mexico. Hello, Mexico. The box guitar. Well, this one. Digital modeling amps. Have I tried any digital modeling amps that I've liked? Apart from as a headphone practice amp, I had a Vox VT100. Is it? Years ago. It's a twin. They did that modeling stuff, didn't they? That was okay. It's the one where it's like a solid state power stage, and then it's got one preamp valve, and then you had all these presets and stuff. The Steve Ray Vaughan setting was actually quite good, which I used to like. I'm actually at the moment I'm playing through a Line 6 pod straight into my DAW, and I've actually used this live into a PA. And I used to have a floor pod which I used to use live, which is quite cool, straight into a PA. The cage system, yes. Well, again, that's another. It's another way of approaching it, isn't it? I don't teach that way. And I don't play that way. If that makes any sense at all, probably doesn't. I probably might play that way, but unintentionally. I look at it from the point of view of a major scale and a minor scale, and then altering the scales. That's how I approach it. The Union Jack on the box requires that you play at least the Who song every time. Yeah, this. It's a great little guitar which I built. This was had sweets in it. It actually says Tuck Shop under there, and it had a load of sweets in it. I got it from a car boot sale for like 50p or something, and then decided to make a guitar out of it. And it's great. I love it. It's the only one I haven't sold out of all the ones I've built. Yeah, the Valvetronics, that was it. the Vox Valvetronics. That was the one. I had the second generation one. That, no idea. I had it knocking around in the studio, and I thought, well, why not? Just stuck it on there. No reason, no rhyme or reason at all, really. It's just, yeah, I just stuck it there for whatever. I don't even rest my hand there. I play over here. So, yeah, there was no reason for it, really. It's just for why not? It was just hanging. It was just it was just getting in my way in the workshop. So I was like, oh, I'll just put it there. It's cool, or not. I don't know. There's only one of these guitars in the world, and I've gigged it. Very good. Where was I? Yes. Anyway, so where were we? Tips for your training. Any particular reason that you went from classical piano to playing guitar, and how old were you when you first picked up a guitar? Ooh. When I first picked up a guitar, I think I was about 11, and I hated it. I played piano from when I was 6 and studied pianoforte up to grade 5, and didn't like that much either. And then I got a guitar because I made friends with some older kids when I was about 13, and they were like 15. And they all played guitar, and they're all into Queen and Hendrix and Clapton and stuff. And introduced me to all this wonderful music, and then it started off that we would be jamming, and I learned to play some boogie woogie on the piano and some blues and stuff like that, much to my headmaster's disgust, because I went to a Catholic school, you see, and I was playing the devil's music, and he didn't like that. Not that I cared. And then it just went from there. And then I bought a guitar off one of my friends, which was a Columbus 335 copy, and the amp that electrocuted nearly killed me. And it just went from there, and that was it. And then I very quickly stopped playing piano and just played guitar. I can still play the piano a bit, but I'm not really interested. It never floated my boat, really. Oh, that's interesting. Basses have those chrome covers. Yeah, I've seen them. I think that's what it's off of. It's off of a bass, I think. For all sorts of reasons, and one being that it thought to increase pickup output. Interesting. I suppose there being a magnetic field. Although I don't have it over a pickup, I've got it over the saddles. I suppose if I had it there, maybe I should have put it there. I don't know. But yeah, I could see that maybe working. I'm going on a visit for 5 days tomorrow where I grew up. Now my old friends want me to set their guitars up for them. Yeah. I do get that sometimes. I don't really do setups for money for people. I do the odd. I've done the odd one, but the thing with guitar setups is it's quite a personal thing as well. Everybody likes their guitar set up differently. Well, I like a little bit of height on the strings because I like to dig in, and then like, other people want them right down as far as they can get them, low as they can get them. And, everyone's different. I like quite a straight neck as well. I don't like a lot of relief in the neck. I really, it's like even this one, it's like very minimal relief in the neck. Because some people like them a bit more. Yeah, everyone's different, so it's quite difficult to do setups for people. Other than doing intonation, and stuff like that. Acoustic Adventure 1. How do you approach improvising? Yeah, good question. I think if you're going to improvise, you need to know where to go to start with, and that's the point of learning, basic theory and things like that. I think if you're going to improvise like a solo, I suppose you mean, if you're doing soloing, then it needs to complement the song. A lot of younger players and even older players will play something that's completely inappropriate for the song. It just doesn't fit. So I think it's important that when you're trying to improvise, or when you're improvising over something, that you try and fit the song and try and find the melody a little bit. And I'm guilty of it, like anybody, you know, playing at speed or playing too fast or playing stuff that's just, yeah, it's fun, isn't it? But and I still do it too much, widdly widdly, But it's whittling in the right places, which counts, I think. My advice to it would if you're doing a solo would be to start. Don't like throw everything at it straight away. Leave some surprises. Come in slow, come in a bit predictable, and then do something crazy, which will make people go, "Ooh, oh, that was good." If you come in all like guns blazing, then you burn out quick, and then that's that. So I try to do that. I try to come in a bit tastefully, a bit slow, and then build up to something which is fast, and then but don't stay fast. Keep it. It's difficult sometimes. You can run away with you. You never stop learning, never stop improving. Yeah, that's the thing with just setting up guitars. Just thinking about doing it as a business. Yeah, because unless you really know the person and what they want, it's really difficult. I know that I've had people pick up my guitars and go, "Oh, that's amazing! The action you've got on that," and then someone else pick it up and be like, "That's too high for me." I like it. It's so difficult. And some guitars you just can't set up well. That would be my other fear. Someone brings you an instrument, it's their beloved guitar, blah blah blah, and it's just a piece of crap. You can't set it up. You do get them. I'm great at the whittling. Yeah, I'm surprised about how many well-seasoned players don't want to touch something as simple as a pickup height or saddler. Yeah, I know. We're in Innuendoland with all this talk of starting off slowly. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but it's kind of like that. Start off slow, be a bit teasy, and gradually get quicker and more surprising. It's true. Is my significant other okay with your guitar practicing? Mine loves my guitar playing, but now that I have 22 electrics, 4 acoustic, and 6 amps, you might have a problem. She said I should stop for a bit. I've been playing so long now, 30 odd years, that I don't even know. And I've been with my significant other, which is my wife, for 27 years or something, 25 years married, roughly. And I've pretty much always played guitar, and it is my living, so it's my job. So she's cool. She's cool. She's always been cool with it. But it's my job, so I don't actually practice all that much anyway. So not anymore. I play, and I come in here and I play, and I record and I write, and I make guitars, and then I go and gig. So I'm playing every day, but not practicing really. But she obviously has a day job. I'm home all day. This is what I do in the day, and I'm making guitars and refinishing guitars and setting up guitars and writing songs and recording songs and doing the gig getting stuff, and then I'm off in the evenings at the weekend playing. No, I didn't meet her at a gig. I met her at my very, very first job, which was pot washing. I was a pot washer in a holiday camp, and I was 17, and it was my first job, full-time job. And she was waitressing, and we met there. I love. I've been playing since 1978. I love how you say that. I blame Eddie Van Halen. It's their fault. See you later, Dr. Nerd. Thanks for popping in, man. We've run over the hour again. It's only supposed to be an hour. Anyway, yeah, to answer the question, it was question 5, wasn't it? Yes, the reason I stayed on the guitar because I just didn't enjoy piano. And I don't like classical music all that much. Number 6. Are there any musical instruments that you haven't tried that you fancy having a go at? That I haven't tried. Probably the sax. I'd love to play saxophone because that's kind of a cool instrument. I've always fancied trying violin actually as well. Maybe I will one day. But an instrument I want to play that I have tried is or something I want to get good at. It'd be drums. I'd love to play the drums. And it's something I might do at some point. I can play drums a little bit, but nothing. I couldn't gig or anything. I'm not that good. Ooh, Boston, yeah. Incredible sound. 1976, blimey. Yeah, they had it all against them back. Well, they didn't have the technology, did they? So they had to create stuff. Now it's all plugins and isn't it? It's easy now. Golden age for guitarists, it is, I'd say. Okay, final question. What's the scariest thing I've ever done? Scariest thing. There's so many. There's so many scary things because I think as you go through life, or especially in my experience, is like everything's scary. Leaving home was scary. Doing my first gig was scary. Getting up in front of people and singing was scary. Even down to getting on a plane and going to Russia and doing a tour on my own was scary. I think you just got to face these things and deal with it, and that's how you grow. I think I spend quite a lot of my life scared, as you can tell. Golden age of cheap guitars, yeah, we are. I completely, totally, utterly agree. We are in the golden age of cheap guitars. Guitars now they've never been this affordable for the quality you're getting these days. Harley Benton's a perfect example. Squire Strat's a perfect example. Gear for music stuff's not bad as well. I've had some of that's really playable, vintage. The list goes on and on. Your first guitar was a cheaply made Japanese model by a company called Bath. Never heard. I had one single called Pickup. And Destroyed Fingers. The destroyer of fingers. My Columbus 335 was terrible, to be fair. That was awful. It never stay in tune. It looked cool, though. It did look good. It was a lovely cherry sunburst. But yeah. Bloomin' terrible. So, the kite eating tree. The finger destroying guitar. That's so funny. Right then, so thank you everybody for coming in and chatting to me again. It's really great. Until next week then, when we shall do another Q&A weekly. Not a wheelie, a weekly. I'll have to amend that. And of course there will be some videos going out in the meantime. No, the fun is all mine. The fun is all mine. So we're going to end the stream right here. It's only supposed to be an hour, but we do get carried away. That's okay. I don't mind. I love talking guitars and stuff. It's my life. No problem. Thank you everybody for coming in, and I'll look forward to catching you all next time. Yeah, see you later, Luke, and expect something in the post very soon. Bye.